Hello, welcome to another episode of Somewhere Between a film and TV podcast. We're your host. I am Daniel Parra.
And I'm Erwin Trejo.
And thank you so much for listening. If this is your first time listening, and I've noticed for a lot of people lately that it is.
It's not for me.
Well, you're on the show.
That is also true.
We've had our most successful month we've ever had. And we just brought the show back, and I'd like to say that we're here to stay. Hopefully we've been consistent about it, and we're going to continue being consistent about it. If you've never listened to us before, hopefully you stick around.
My dune. I'm sorry.
Is that an intrusive thought you've had?
Yeah. It's been that for a while.
It was an old Fremen name. I want to explain to you what the show is, Erwin.
Okay.
And what we do here.
I always forget, so yeah. Remind me.
Let's lay the groundwork here. Let's say you just got out of the movie. You're with your friends.
How many?
3 or 4.
Damn.
You have a lot of friends?
How do I...
How do you have that many?
I don't think my attention span is ready for that. For 3 or 4 friends.
You know 3 or 4 people.
Oh. Who? Nah, it's okay. I'll remember later.
Yeah. You don't remember your friends?
I feel like I go to the movies by myself a lot. I don't see any of my friends.
Do you remember that Onion article that's like fucking loser at the movies all by himself?
That's like from 2012.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's from 2011. Or that one tweet that's on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. That's like I took a picture of this one other guy in the theater, and it's and he had the flash on it.
Dude, the amount of people that I see with the flash on, or if they just start recording.
Yeah. Recording the movie?
Yes.
Dude, people... Okay, minor gripe that I have is when people post... I understand the end credits of a movie.
Yes,
I understand if the title card comes on at the end. But I've noticed people like waiting for the title card to come on in a movie so they can like post it on their Instagram story.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and it's so frustrating to me.
Yeah, I don't enjoy that. Or my thing is, I mean, I don't have Snapchat.
Yeah.
But when people would have Snapchat and they would start recording random scenes.
Oh, yeah.
And then they would put... I remember whenever I did have Snapchat, and then people would just start recording random scenes from a movie. They're like, oh, this scene's so funny. I'm like, it's your first time watching it. How are you saying it's funny if you're just experiencing it, right?
Maybe they like look at... I don't know how people work.
Yeah.
I adore horror movies. I know that we're like a little bit different about that, but they attract the worst crowd all the time. Like, I know that you at least like the Scream movies that you've seen.
Oh, yes.
But even then, that too. I remember, I think we saw the most recent one, and there was somebody in front of me, or was this with Halloween? Either way, like the same logic applies, and it probably happened both times.
Yeah.
They had their phone out to take a picture of it when the killer showed up, but it took forever for
when it's finally revealed who the killer is, and you just post it on your story. Aha, I knew it all along. Like, oh no.
Have you ever had a movie spoiled for you by somebody just like posting about it on social media before you'd even seen it?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Wait, no, we all have
comments.
No, we all have. 2017, The Force Awakens. That was
terrible.
2015. 2017 was The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Right?
So 2015 is when
The Force Awakens, yeah. We were 16 years old.
Yes.
And our friend had sent a picture of Han Solo dying to us like the Thursday night that it had come out.
It wasn't a photo, it was just a text message to me. I remember it's like, finally I have internet connection coming from...
You were in Mexico.
I was in Mexico with my family.
Yeah.
And the moment I, came back to the States, I got internet connection for the first time, and that was like the first thing I saw. Han Solo died. And I'm like, all right. I still haven't seen the movie, but
yeah, because you hadn't gotten to see it yet,
No.
right? Yeah.
I wasn't until, I think, 2 days after.
Mm-hmm. I remember because I hadn't gotten to talk to you in forever, and we were super distracted in English class because I was like, Erwin. And that was our English teacher that was always letting us play that like Ellen DeGeneres game.
Which one?
The heads up, where you could like guess movies and stuff, and we were really good at it.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Not the...
No, but what teacher?
Her name was
What grade
Miss Rebez, and we were in 10th grade, AP English, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or was it 11th grade? No, it was 11th grade. We were juniors, yeah.
No, because it was 2015.
So we were 16 years old.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Wait. I don't know.
Because...
Or was it 14 to 15?
It doesn't matter.
I guess it doesn't matter. Whatever.
Anyway, what we like to do here is...
Get off topic. I don't remember what we were talking about today.
Review movies with full spoilers. Everything we talk about will always have full spoilers.
We literally just spoiled something from Force Awakens.
For movies like...
Almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Damn.
You're old.
Bro, what? You're older than I am.
By a month, excuse me.
No, that's not. Not at all.
I was born in 2004.
Shout out to everyone who's born on the same day as Daniel. That's it.
December. I'm not going to leak my birthday. I'm not going to dox myself. But we will get off topic, talk about other things, but eventually we'll circle back around. And Erwin, do you know what movie we're talking about today?
Yes.
What is it?
Roadhouse.
No, well, I mean, we'll get into that a little bit later. But we're going to review a couple things. I've noticed in reviews that people have had a tendency to review Godzilla -1 and Godzilla. It's not even called Godzilla X Kong. It's called Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. The X is silent. And
then why is it there?
I don't know.
How many title changes? There were this is the third time.
From what, Godzilla?
Yeah, because I thought it was Godzilla Kong.
I never knew what it was called.
Yeah.
I mean, it would make no sense to call it Godzilla versus Kong 2, but because they don't really. I mean, they fight for a minute. Yeah.
The scene where Kong was like, wait. That was hilarious.
I like the WWE move that
of course.
Godzilla pulls on him.
I think my audience, we all laughed.
Yeah,
I laughed.
Can I tell you? So there were 3 separate moments that I laughed out loud at, and it's already a meme. Mm-hmm. There are 2 that are already a meme. It's the one that's basically the Wojak meme where he the monkey walks up to him and he's chattering basically, and then he punches him, and knocks him out.
I laughed at that one too.
When he uses the little monkey to beat the other ones.
That was amazing.
There's one with the villain that I think was deliberately on purpose, where Kong has a new tooth, right?
Yeah.
And the way he points at him looks like that one meme where the guys are freaking out and pointing at the thing behind them. It looks exactly like that.
There was a scene that I don't know if you remember, where Kong looks at Godzilla, because I wanted them to fist bump.
Yeah, right? They never did.
Yeah, that's the one thing I wanted to see. I mean, the closest thing I got was Kong looking at Godzilla, and it's I don't know if they nodded at one another.
Oh yeah,
they just acknowledge each other. But that one made me so happy. That scene made me happy.
There's a moment where Kong visibly does that, and it's whenever the tiny monkey, does something, and then he nods back at him in approval.
Yeah.
So, we will be reviewing both Godzilla -1 and Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, with full spoilers for both, because due to the popularity of Godzilla -1, I noticed that the box office for this has been ridiculous. It is the #1 movie in the world. And
which one?
Godzilla X Kong.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing.
And it had a huge opening, the biggest of the year worldwide, which is kind of interesting because of the kind of varied outcome of the Monsterverse. Mm-hmm. So before we fully get into this movie, I do want to ask you what your experience is. We've actually never talked about monster movies on here before, but we talk about our... You like that?
Yeah.
We talk about our nostalgia for a lot of different things. Do you have on our last episode, I said we don't have nostalgia for this. I think it's time to face the facts. Godzilla 2014 came out when we were 15 years old.
Oh, man.
We grew up with it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. what are your opinions on something as far back as, have you seen the 1954 Godzilla movie, and have you seen I believe it's 1933 King Kong movie?
No. I think I've seen clips
Yeah.
of it, but that was like my main experience. But even as a kid, like I knew who Godzilla was, I knew what King Kong was, especially since what's that one where what's his name? That made Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson. I do want to talk about that movie.
Yeah, that movie I remember watching in theaters as
Yeah.
well. I did not remember the runtime.
3 hours and 20 minutes,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
But I remember that movie. I remember enjoying that movie just because, I mean, big monkey on screen.
Yeah.
How can I not enjoy that?
And it has that dinosaur fight.
Exactly.
That's awesome, yeah.
God, I love dinosaurs too. Why are you looking at me?
I mean, I like dinosaurs a lot. Oh, are you talking? What? Because I don't love Jurassic Park? I
What?
see your VHS over there.
I hate you. But yeah, I mean, the other Godzilla movies that I've actually seen was it Robert Zemeckis? That's somebody
No,
else.
dude.
Who was the other one? I always get this confused.
Roland Emmerich's
Oh, Roland Emmerich.
1998, I
Okay.
believe, Godzilla.
The amount of times I've seen that movie is insane, and it's just because I had the VHS of it.
Yeah.
And I remember my family would always want to watch that movie, or if it's not there, it would always be on some cable channel, and it would always come on like halfway through the movie or something.
Yeah.
And then I just explicitly remember like the last, I'm guessing it's like the last hour where all the small Godzillas would come out.
Oh, whenever
The eggs and all that. Like I just remember that part vividly. And after that, it was just more of a.
It turns
the
into
2014 Godzilla.
Oh, the one that you'd seen after.
Yeah.
In terms of the Monsterverse, do you have varied opinions on each movie, or do you enjoy them on a level overall? Because I know that we'll get into my opinion in a second, but I know that the one that I think we might, at least of the time that it came out, vary on opinion on is Kong Skull Island.
Oh yes.
Do you still feel the same way about that movie, or
I would have to watch it again, but comparing it to, I don't want to compare it just on its own. I don't know. I would have to watch it again, but I just remember the way I felt from it, where it's just like I had fun with it, but
Yeah.
of course I think it just lacked some things from me at least.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it's maybe just because like the monsters in it that just they weren't appealing to me, or I don't know. Like I remember the actors a lot more than like the actual movie, like the different actors.
Do you think that the same like flaws in terms of the movies now, or I'm basically asking you all of this to figure out like what are your thoughts overall on each of these, because there's Godzilla 2014,
Yes.
then there's Kong Skull Island, then there's Godzilla King of the Monsters, and then I believe I'm going in proper order.
Yes.
Then Godzilla vs. Kong, and now this Godzilla X Kong.
New Empire.
The New Empire, yeah.
I think my favorite one in terms of quality is still the first Godzilla movie.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it's just the very first time it's the first time I've ever seen like American Godzilla like portrayed in a quality movie
Yeah.
compared to how it is now, where it's just very action packed. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love that too. And they do such a good job of showcasing just literally buildings collapsing and just Godzilla destroying everything.
I think the funny thing about how much they've leaned into that is they've kind of reverted back into Toho's kind of original cycle. So me growing up with these, I love monster movies so much. It sort of originated with my sci-fi shark movie obsession back when I was like
How can I forget?
8 or 9. I still have it. I'm so easy on shark movies. They're so good. The Meg is awesome.
Have you seen the second one?
I actually haven't seen The Meg, The Trench
Yeah.
yet. I've heard that it has...
I'm not gonna lie, the first one. I just saw the first one. I
Yeah.
think a year or two ago. I enjoyed it.
I love camp. I love monster movies, but
I've never been camping before.
You've never been camping?
No.
I've been camping. Dude, I went on a camping trip when in like 14-degree weather.
That is terrible.
I
don't understand how anyone would do that.
It wasn't on purpose. So we'd gone, and it's the wilderness, right?
Yeah.
So there's no real kind of air pollution or anything to cloud that area. It was at the park with the big rock
in Boulder
by Fredericksburg.
Oh, that what's it called? I don't know. Something with Boulder.
Enchanted Rock.
Oh, Enchanted Rock.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep thinking it's a boulder. I mean, it is a big ass rock, so.
Is that considered a boulder?
I don't know, bro. I don't know rocks.
Well, no, I
know a little bit.
I went hiking-ish there, sort of, and our friend Dakota kept on saying that he knew like a secret passage, and he never found it.
Hey guys, I know where to go so we can get really, really cold tonight.
No, he promised he'd bring me a tent, and then he said, I asked him, hey, where's the tent? And he said, what are you talking about? And so I had
gaslighting at its finest. You sound insane.
You're like, I never promised a tent. What are you talking about?
I only think about myself, no one else.
Hey, I love him, but
I didn't say you didn't.
Dude, he didn't. I had to like spoon with my friend Erwin though.
Yeah, I mean, with that weather, I would spoon with anyone at that point.
Anybody, huh?
I mean, even if it's warm, I'd still spoon.
Yeah, I generate a lot of body heat. Did you know that?
No, I don't need to.
We could find out. We could go camping in 14-degree weather.
It's getting warm outside, my guy.
No, it's been colder lately.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like that.
I like it.
I know you do.
Yeah. No, so I think I also remember seeing the Peter Jackson King Kong movie in theaters. I think it might still be like one of my favorite movies, at least from my memory, because I love the Skull Island stuff in that movie so much. There's this one scene that trends all the time that really has stuck in my memory, and it's the scene where those like weird slug things,
like where the bugs all.
Yeah. That movie gets weird and mean, and I think it's because Peter Jackson does originate as a horror director, and him transitioning into that is basically the same way that Sam Raimi transitioned into Spider-Man, where he carries this sort of technique and trademark style, and I think that applies to monster movies so well. I also, no accounting for good taste, grew up with I also want to say Robert Zemeckis, Roland Emmerich.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, I mean, like, they made movies in the same era, I guess, but Roland Emmerich's not a good director.
Not. Oh, Independence Day.
I don't like that movie. I don't like either of them.
I remember, I still like this first one, I think.
People were so underwhelmed by the second one and hated it, and I thought, this is the same movie as the first one. Why is everyone mad about this one?
It's probably because it was just the same thing.
Oh, whenever, like, I think Space Jam 2 is a better movie than the first one. They're both not good, but...
I still haven't seen the second one. I'm not really eager to.
There are funny moments in it. I remember the Michael B. Jordan joke.
I didn't like what they did to, was it Lola?
Lola Bunny?
Yeah.
What would they do to Lola Bunny?
They...
What'd they do?
Oh my God. Damn, it's getting hot in here.
She's played by Zendaya in that one, right?
Oh, what? I have to watch this movie right now.
She is, right? I'm not making that up.
I don't know. Maybe you are. In my dreams, she was.
In your dreams, she's Lola Bunny?
Yeah, I guess so. Zendaya's Lola Bunny.
But I think what really sparked, before we get into that 2014 one, really sparked the kaiju kind of renaissance, because these movies are popular again. Monster movies are popular again. Is Pacific Rim. I think that movie is phenomenal. I also think that Guillermo del Toro's specific kind of love for monster movies like that really shines through in it. And that's another one where, I hate to say it, I grew up with it. I was we were 12 or 13 when that came out.
Dang.
And it was also right around the time that 3D was kind of fading, but still popular enough. And it was shot in 3D, I believe. And it looks amazing. I think the action in that is
Do they still do 3D movies today?
I saw that the Godzilla Kong poster had real D3D on it.
Yeah.
And my dad asked me, is this movie in 3D? And I said no. And he said, oh, come on. So he still likes it.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
I just don't see a difference now when it comes to 3D. Unless it's Spy Kids. Where
that's the
like
smell-o-vision stuff.
No, that's the
though.
4D one.
Yeah.
But when, like, you've seen the scenes, right? Where they intentionally just have it where the object or like their hand actually like moves towards you.
Yeah, because that's like the gimmicky 3D.
Yeah.
Like Jaws 3D, where they do that.
Oh yeah.
You like Spy Kids 4? I recently heard somebody say that they liked Spy Kids 4.
Well, they're dumb. Even as a kid, I did not like. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I was upset with the card they gave me. That they're like, here's all the smells, and then me being so anxious, I'm gonna smell all of them right now.
One of them was like poop smell,
And one of them,
right?
yeah, it was like poop or vomit. I don't remember. Probably both. But
Why?
I mean, it's in the.
Then again, have you ever had those jelly beans that have like the Harry Potter?
Yes.
I had one. It was.
There was like a vomit one and a booger one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was also pencil shavings.
I did not get that one.
That's the one I remember vividly eating.
It tastes exactly like it.
Dude, the toothpaste one sucked. I've had toothpaste.
I mean, yeah, you should. Every day. Twice a day.
Didn't taste like that, though. That's like the same people that say that mint chocolate chip ice cream tastes like...
Yeah, I mean, I taste that. That's why I don't really... That's not my favorite flavor.
Of ice cream?
Yeah.
You think it tastes like that? I was about to say that people think it tastes like that don't brush their teeth often enough. That's my favorite ice cream flavor.
Yeah. No, I'm basic with my ice cream.
Oh yeah, you're
Like,
vanilla.
I'm very-
You're literally vanilla.
Yeah, like it really... It's embarrassing because I just choose vanilla majority of times.
That's like what people pick when they get too embarrassed to say the flavors out loud at a place.
Can I get a chocolate chucka wooka lecca mint?
Dude, no, that's why I don't like ordering things from places sometimes. Like the smoothies or milkshakes. Like there's one called the... I always want to call it the Nut Buster, but it's...
What'd you say? The Nutbuster just got released today.
It's called like the...
You just go around smashing like those pistachios, like shells.
I wasn't
and, like,
thinking about it like that.
Yeah, you're
That
nasty,
was-
dude. I was trying to keep it PG, where you just went for a rated R. Real
No, I'm
quick.
talking about semen.
Okay, well.
Anyway, do you remember we would always be obsessed with two specific movie trailers? It was The Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Yes.
which we regret because that showed everything.
Dude, the amount of times I would just see that in class, like, once the
Yeah.
teacher was like, all right, you guys can do whatever you like after you're done with your work, and then I would be watching that over
The
and
same
over
trailer,
again.
or
Now,
like-
then I would try to pause it. I'm like, oh, is that Venom?
Dude, oh yeah, he
Yeah.
like swings in the background for like
Yes.
1 second. It's not in the movie.
Yeah.
And same with Civil War. I remember when the
Oh, yeah.
Civil War Spider-Man trailer, like when he shows up at the end, he came
Yeah.
out. I remember running to a different class, and our friend Darian was
Yeah.
like, "Did you see it?" But the other one, because we had the bass speakers at my house,
I wish you still
was
had that.
I think we do. I just don't
Oh, I guess we just don't sit there.
don't set it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 2014 Godzilla trailer, which is phenomenal.
Oh, it was amazing.
And I personally also, I don't know what consensus that movie landed on overall.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Uh-huh.
I think it has an incredible sense of scale. I love the Bryan Cranston twist, like 40 something minutes in, and then you follow Aaron Taylor Johnson. Unfortunately, the flaw of that movie is that he's not as interesting as...
But that's like the flaw when it comes to a lot of monster movies.
Yeah.
It's just the lack of human. I mean, not the lack of human characters, but it's just their like the way they portray the human characters and like their storyline.
Yeah.
They're just not interesting enough compared to Godzilla, where Godzilla is just a monster, and
That-
you're just seeing them
That's why I think before we get into Godzilla X Kong, I want to talk about the Monsterverse, then Godzilla -1, then Godzilla X Kong. Is because I feel the complete opposite about that movie that I do about like the human characters in these. But for me, with the 2014 one, I still like him as a character. I think that that's one of the more successful ones on a human level than the other ones, because there's that.
I'm not gonna lie right now. I kind of want to see the 2014 Godzilla
I've been
trailer.
I've been wanting to watch that whole movie again lately. Yeah. And I think it's funny that one of the critiques of it when it came out was there's not a lot of Godzilla. He in this newest one, he's in it the least apparently of any of them.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. It did not feel like they said like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
In the entirety of Godzilla Kong, and I was thinking, I felt like Godzilla was there every single time. Like, how do they like take account like? Is it just because like a full frontal shot of Godzilla?
A full frontal.
You're like, why did your eyes get so big?
Because that means that he's naked. I guess he
is naked. They're all naked, bro. You just see Kong come out with a suit and tie.
That'd be awesome. They are all naked.
Hold up, let me check real quick. Godzilla full frontal.
Sorry, it's just whenever you see full frontal, that usually is followed with the word nudity. It's like, ooh.
Oh, man.
But I feel a little bit differently about Kong Skull Island than you do, I think. I love that movie. I think it has just this insane sense of style, a style I kind of miss and wish would have carried over throughout the movies, but is very specific to that one alone. It has these like really long lingering shots that admittedly are cool just for the sake of being cool.
Yes.
And I don't mind that. I like that. I know that sometimes people argue about subtlety and not subtlety. I kind of don't give a fuck if it's cool. That's why whenever we were talking about Saltburn last year, I love that movie.
Yeah, I do.
It is in your face about all of its imagery, but I like that about it.
But I don't know, when people say sometimes when they complain about things being subtle and not being subtle, right?
Yeah.
It's just whether or not you accept, like, I feel most things that are subtle are actually not so subtle. And it's just thrown at you right away, and it's obvious of what they're trying to say and what they're portraying. It's just like how you want to come off from it. And so I guess you can be pretentious and say, well, I mean, that was so obvious, like they're just showcasing it. Or you could just have a different perspective of saying, well, I know what they're trying to say, but how the director showcasing it this time, to me, is it working for me?
Sometimes presentation is different from what you're trying to say sometimes. Like, I think it is dependent on how you handle what you want to show. Like, Kong Skull Island is very obviously about the Vietnam War and the like imagery that's related to that. There's so many different moments where the humans are kind of morons in that movie, but they're morons on purpose. So there is a mean streak in that movie too. For whatever reason, the Kong movies have this thing where they like to be mean to their human characters. Yeah. And I don't mind it. That's kind of a throwback to B movies anyway. And Godzilla does this too. But now they're kind of circling back to what had happened with the Showa era back in the 50s and 60s was that the 54, it was called Gojira, and it was about the ramifications of nuclear war and how it was sort of a parable about that, and then immediately descended into these big kind of brawl fights with monsters. I think that it is very cool that Toho now can make kind of the more serious Godzilla movies, while America and WB and Legendary get to make the kind of goofier, more in-your-face ones. Yeah. So, leading into that, have you seen, I believe, before Godzilla -1, they're not entirely related to each other, is Shin Godzilla?
Oh, I have not seen Shin Godzilla.
Really?
Yeah, I want to, though, but I just haven't seen it.
That movie is great. It has this sense of dread and a lot of human characters, but the human characters are interesting in that as well. That's still one of the weaker aspects of it, but Godzilla's kind of transformation in that is one of the most interesting things. It kind of leads more into this sort of body horror about him experiencing his own transformation, and I love that about it.
Yeah.
But in terms of the legendary movies, the most recent Godzilla, just Godzilla, which I guess and a ton of monsters, was King of the Monsters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts on that movie?
King of the Monsters? Honestly, I didn't know half of the monsters in that movie.
Really?
I think it was the first time me seeing that dragon one with the 3 heads.
Ghidorah.
That was really cool. There was a lot of amazing shots in King of the Monsters that I did not expected to see, and I didn't know anything about Mothra. I didn't know Mothra was going to be such a big influence in the Godzilla movies.
Right.
Yeah, compared to, I guess, because I was reading about that later on. It's how Mothra and Godzilla were just somehow
they're connected to each other in a sense.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Especially, after watching Godzilla and Kong, I was like, oh, okay, I see that now.
I have seen about half of the older movies, and I've seen the ones that relate to Mothra. It's the same sort of origin, but Mothra was connected to these, if I remember correctly, these identical twins, or these people that they take some of the lore and they still keep it with the newer stuff. And it's kind of funny because sometimes I forget that there's mystical aspects to this too. So I always have to remind myself, this was the same thing that happened when we saw Ghostbusters, where I was like, why can I accept ghosts, but then this guy can control fire? And I'm like, why can he do that? But I also love that movie. That was the first one that I think loved for a different reason than the other ones.
Yeah.
It is not... It's hard to gauge.
I also think that King of the Monsters, they actually showed more of their... the American style now. Because I feel the 2014 one, they were very... It was it was mostly serious.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. But at least with King of the Monsters, they started to shift towards how it is now, especially with Godzilla and versus Kong.
So I guess leading into that, it's interesting because Kong, or Godzilla versus Kong, came out in a time when blockbusters were just coming back from COVID, and Tenet had just come out as well. I believe
Tenet lovers, right?
I love Tenet.
I love Tenet.
Tenet head.
What'd you say to me? I just going up to somebody. Are you a Tenet head?
What does that mean?
What'd you say to me?
Backwards boy.
What? Is that where someone wears a hat backwards?
Is it? Do you do that? Do you remember when...
I just feel like I'm being insulted. Why'd you touch my hand? Did I feel something?
Do you remember when we were Facebook friends?
Okay.
And you had one of those Cookie Monster hats, or was it Kermit the Frog?
Both.
You had both,
I had
right?
both,
yeah.
I do miss my Kermit hat because they had it was very fuzzy. So, all right, where are you going with this?
What happened to it?
I wish I had it. I don't know. I think it was during that time where I wanted to fit in, and so you try to either get things based off trends from your school, or if it's not that, if you transition into where people don't wear that anymore, so I'm gonna get rid of it.
Dude, that's when you wanted to fit in. You wouldn't play with me during 3-on-3 basketball because I wasn't any good.
Yeah, and I wanted to win.
Where are those people you played with basketball now?
Yeah, it beats me. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
And here we are talking about
That's right.
Godzilla versus Kong. What'd you think of that movie?
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I think I love the trailer more than the movie, to be honest. I just love when trailers are so good with whatever song they play.
Yeah.
With the trailer itself, right? Because I remember there's just building up. I'm talking about the trailer right now.
Right.
The first 30 seconds is them building up to where Godzilla and Kong meet in the trailer.
Oh yeah.
And then some rap song comes on. It's here we go, and then Kong just throws the first punch. It's so funny. I love it so much. And then Kong like jumps from the
Dude, when he
ship.
jumps
Yeah.
off of the ship,
And then Godzilla just shoots his beam in the from the ocean up.
yeah,
It's so cool.
so I watched that movie again recently. I love it. The issue I have with it is that the human characters, and that one specifically though,
Yeah.
drag it down heavily.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that.
And
But that's why I'm saying like I think that's what you expect from every Godzilla movie or even Kong. The characters just drag it down.
But I think that there's still some interesting ideas with those human characters. They just don't fully know how to write them, because I can sense there's a real love, there's a real passion for the monsters.
Yes.
And they're trying their hardest with the humans, and they're like, I don't know how to write these people.
Yeah.
Because I think that there's some genuine human connections in that movie also, and it's the relationship they decided to keep for this one.
Yeah.
What makes monster movies special to me specifically is whenever they show the humane side of the thing that you typically associate with having no humanity. So there are multiple moments, even with some of the worst.
Oh, when Godzilla is sleeping.
Oh, in the new one? I love that. I love when he's like in the Coliseum.
He's just asleep.
Even King of the Monsters, there's an incredible moment in that one specifically where they're underwater, and I believe it's Ken Watanabe who's
in Godzilla versus Kong.
No, in
the very first
King of the Monsters.
Oh, King of the Monsters, yes.
And he's setting off the bomb so he can cause the radioactivity to, was it like revive Godzilla?
I think so.
Either way, that moment, specific like moments of quiet before it gets big and it gets loud, are what make those moments special to me. I think that moment's great. I think that they're still able to find humanity sometimes in that.
At least the first two, I remember that, but I don't remember that from Godzilla versus Kong or
Godzilla versus Kong. The thing I liked about it the most was the connection.
King Kong's expressions.
That
his worry face.
I'm actually kind of tying that into that specifically is with the girl.
Oh yes.
He has this great moment, because I watched this movie again just the other day, and when he reaches out and touches her like with his, big finger.
What'd you say to me? Hey, you big finger. What are you doing later?
Who are you calling that? Big finger. It's a bad nickname.
Okay.
My brother-in-law knows this guy named Big Tim.
Why?
And I don't know, but he calls him Big Tim.
What, is he big?
They work out at the gym together, and he says that his warm-up's 235 on bench.
Damn.
So I would like to know what this guy looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he calls him Big Tim. I think what works the best in this new one, Godzilla X Kong, is also Kong.
Yes.
I found it to be much more of a sequel to Kong Skull Island than anything else, actually. And before we fully delve even more into that movie, I do want to touch on Godzilla -1.
Okay.
What do you think of that movie?
I love that movie. I'm so happy. I can't wait for that movie to come out on 4K Blu-ray here in the States.
And not in Japan.
Not in Japan.
Yeah.
I remember I did see it in theaters.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect, because it got great reviews.
Like, great reviews.
And so I was excited just for that aspect, but I didn't know how much emotion I would have and like connection I would have just throughout the entire movie. I remember at the end of the movie I was crying.
I cried twice in that, I think. Yeah.
Oh man, it was just amazing. It was like the first time you ever felt so scared for the actual human characters in a monster movie.
Yeah.
And I don't remember like the last time I ever felt that way, to be perfectly honest.
In really any of them?
Yes. And
Jaws.
Oh yeah, Jaws. But in the way it looked amazing. I loved Godzilla also, and I don't know. It's just like, it's insane to me how much of a difference it is.
So Godzilla minus one kind of proved a couple of things to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love Shin Godzilla a lot. You can make human characters the most interesting part of your monster movie.
Yes.
I adore Godzilla minus one. I can really only second everything that you said. It was in my top 5 of last year, maybe top 3.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that movie was incredible. It was perfect. It's pretty much every single superlative you could say about it. I felt about it. It was maybe outside of like Top Gun Maverick, which I think that I like this movie more than I like that one. But that movie is perfect. Don't get me wrong.
I haven't seen that movie since I saw it in theaters.
It's very much a theater movie.
Yeah.
So is this one though.
Yeah.
But Godzilla minus one really kind of made me feel the same way I felt about Fury Road the first time that I saw it. It has this really strong sense of just action as well. I think that its opening with Godzilla specifically is incredible.
I love that scene.
The opening one?
Yes. I love that scene, and then what was it? And whenever he gets to was it actually Tokyo?
I believe so, yeah.
When Godzilla shows up there and like the urgency, and I felt so anxious as well, saying like, oh my god, please don't kill this person, please don't hurt this person.
It has an absolutely perfect sense of pace.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the type of 3-act structure you should teach in blockbusters, because it has the first act opening where our main character survives something that he shouldn't have survived, and he feels like it's his own fault that he did.
And you feel that guilt throughout the entire movie.
So the moment at the end when it pays off that he like comes back in the helicopter is incredible, and then it shows that flashback to like, oh, I actually installed this the whole time. Keep in mind, I've only seen this movie one time. I want to see it multiple times, but I remember every like detail of it. Because I adored it so much.
I love his redemption, just knowing that like he didn't need to like kill himself. I guess because he's a kamikaze pilot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he didn't need to like end his life to prove he's like worthy of living.
I thought it's interesting how much that movie has in common with Oppenheimer of all things, and they came out around a similar time. And this makes even more sense as commentary on nuclear war and the war, because it decides to literally place it in that time period a couple of years before whenever the 1954 Godzilla would have taken place, I believe. But the first act with him going through that, and the second act where he establishes kind of like a found family, and that his not daughter but daughter, and the relationship that they build over time, it gives you a real sense of stakes on a personal level, because Godzilla is always kind of about like, you know, leveling the world. And
it's just so it feels, every Godzilla movie just felt so massive and bigger than who you are, that so when things are getting destroyed left and right, it never feels very impactful towards you. But with Godzilla minus one, they definitely took a step back with Godzilla and just showcased more of like the little things that Godzilla would either like destroy or have an effect on, just like the characters that we go along with.
I feel like Godzilla has a real sense of, I remember reading something that said that this is the first time you feel scared that he shows up in something in a really long time, and he's definitely the antagonist of that movie for sure. He's a real force of nature in it, and that's kind of how he always is, but in a kind of scary way, because he's threatening. In the WB like monarch centered ones, he's the protagonist, and that's fine, even though he definitely kills millions of people.
But they never talk about it or showcase it.
I got really thrown off by that in the new one. There's this moment where we'll talk about it, but there's like the moment where he like just runs through a bridge, and I'm like, there's like
there were literally cars flying around.
Like those cars are not empty. But no, and this movie thrives in the sense that it doesn't even have fan service. If the fan servicey moment, I would say, is not even fan service. What it is it plays the Godzilla theme whenever the rescue people come in that. I hope they don't. But no, they... It was phenomenal. I loved that movie so much. I'm grateful that... It's funny, I saw something saying that they're concerned that the Monsterverse has kind of played out everything that it has to offer.
Oh, with like Warner Brothers and Legendary?
Warner Brothers and just monster movies in general.
Okay.
But I was thinking, how could you say that when this just came out?
Yes.
And is not only Oscar nominated, but also an Oscar winner?
Yes.
And I do think it is beneficial, but also unfortunate that Godzilla -1 came out just before this movie did, because it's going to gain traction and be popular, but then people are also going to inevitably compare these two.
Yeah.
But I think it's why they decided to release that interview with both of the directors in one, where they can unify their kind of ideas and say that these interpretations of these characters can exist at the same time.
Yes.
And I like that. I like that they can do that.
It's the same way when we see, I guess, in comic books, when people have, like, of course, like, let's just say, for example, when it comes to superheroes, then all the superheroes are going to have, like, the same type of, like, storylines or, like, same, what is it? Why am I blanking on what it's called?
They all have similar, you know how we talk about how there's, like, really only 10 to 12 stories that can be told.
Yeah.
It's just about how
just different perspectives and like how you just turn things around, but like they still end up the same way regardless.
Yeah.
But at least with I guess with Godzilla, we just see it in both different perspectives, literally. And at least with the Japan ones, they showcase Godzilla more of like what you said, like a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And just the antagonist, and because that's how I always seen Godzilla at first. When it came to the Japanese ones, because that's how they just portrayed Godzilla all the time as, and with the American versions, they try to show Godzilla as like some type of hero, but of course they also showcase Godzilla destroying so much. You're like, how can you like say he's a hero?
In some of the Japan ones, he's more of a protagonist as well. It depends on the movie.
Okay.
Because I've seen, there's one that I really, really love. I believe it's Godzilla versus Hedorah, I think, which is a commentary on pollution. And something that these monster movies always, always include is commentary on something, not political, but something kind of ecological.
Okay.
Like, I forgot that King of the Monsters had this, but they were talking about how they wanted Titans because they keep the atmosphere clean or something like that.
Like specific Titans or just...
It was like Godzilla, and they said that, remember, Ghidorah was a threat because he was an alien and affected the ecosystem, I think.
Oh, okay. It's weird because, I mean, I haven't seen the Monarch series.
I need to, but I've heard it's good.
Yeah. And both of the Russells are in it.
Oh, yeah. He plays the younger version. That's such a cool idea, actually, because they look the same.
Yeah. But with the new Godzilla X Kong, they showed a lot more Titans, different Titans like Godzilla would.
Some of them had some very cool designs.
Oh, I loved that one where Kong was fighting that one. I forget what it's called.
Oh,
like that eel-looking thing that looks like a dragon too. It looks amazing. I love that design.
Dragons are awesome. And
dragons are always awesome.
That's why I love Ghidorah a lot.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of dragon-themed looking creatures in this one in particular. Before we fully get into that movie, let's go ahead and wrap up our thoughts on Godzilla -1. I guess, go ahead and give it a score.
5 out of 5. I can't. Yeah. I'm so excited to see that movie again whenever it gets released. I hope it gets released again in theaters.
I have actually heard good things about the black and white version of it. I've heard that it actually translates pretty well to looking like that. And I have mixed feelings about whenever movies do that. Logan, it made sense to me.
Okay.
Fury Road, it made sense to me.
Do you think it just depends on what the story is instead of just making it black and white?
I think it does, because if you just do that gimmick, but it, like, genuinely what they did with this one is they recolored it and regrained it to look like it came from the 50s.
Oh, okay.
So I think if there's...
Can you name a movie that you've seen that was like turned black and white and that didn't work?
I would need to look it up so I could tell you, but there was one that they did it to that I genuinely thought did not make sense. I love Zack Snyder's Justice League, but I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense to do, but I think they did do that. It's called like Justice is Gray, which is a cool tagline, but
yeah,
I don't think that movie in particular made a whole lot of sense to me.
Okay.
As much as I love it. But also Godzilla -1, 5 out of 5 for me. I love the human characters in that movie as well. The scientist guy was awesome.
Yeah.
The main character, I love that it's a story about survivors' guilt and about the effects of war on the human brain. And it has so much to offer in terms of what it's about. I loved that movie a lot. Again, 5 out of 5 for me. That movie's perfect. And I can't wait to see if they do I don't know what they would call the sequel to that, Godzilla -2. But
that's so lame. I really hope it's not that.
It's called Godzilla -1 because it takes place earlier than the 54 one, I think.
That's why it's called -1?
I think so.
Oh, I mean, I don't know why. I thought it was something with like radiation or something.
Oh, like
I don't know. That's
like Godzilla radioactive.
I like Imagine Dragons. I don't care. I don't care.
I didn't even mention.
Yeah,
them.
but it just feels
I
like
thought about
it. I had to roast him.
You brought it up. Imagine Dragons.
What? Like what? Dragon what?
I'm not gonna. I don't say that. You say that.
I'm sorry. I just do.
I can imagine dragons.
Hey, me too.
The guy who wrote Aragon.
Hey, what? He wasn't gone. He still made a bunch of other books.
Those books suck. They're
I haven't read them.
They're not good. But you like Imagine Dragons?
Yes. Okay, leave me alone. I'm tired of this conversation.
Someone texted
it's
me.
Always. It's like once a week. I hear someone like they just
Bro,
trash.
you brought it up.
Yeah, like either trash about it or like a song comes up and then they're like, oh, and then I go, fuck, dude, like, I'm sorry. I
Dude,
don't know.
every time, so genuinely, anytime I work out with someone and I'm like, this song fucking sucks. What is this? It's always this one Imagine Dragons song. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I don't know which one.
Erwin, I don't know how you could defend anybody who made the song Thunder. But
that's not the song I listen to. I listen to. There's this one song, "Follow You," that I've been listening to from Imagine Dragons.
I'm not gonna listen.
I mean, you don't need to. I'm just saying, I just genuinely like it.
Do you listen to it at the gym?
No, I don't know what I'm listening to now at the gym.
The Willy Wonka soundtrack.
Yeah, sometimes I can't.
I do too.
No, my number one song right now is the "Baby One More Time" by Tenacious D.
Oh,
dude, I listen to that song once a day now. There's
really?
There's not a day ever since I've like heard that. Whenever Kung Fu Panda 4 came out,
yeah,
like I just
we reviewed it.
Yeah, I just can't. I don't know what it is. I just love it so much.
I saw someone say that Jack Black himself said, "Oh, 4 is my favorite in the franchise," and someone was like, "Is this because you got paid the most for it?" And someone was like, "I bet anything it's because he got to do that cover of that song."
Because I already love that song by Britney Spears.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I'm listening to like Jack Black and like his band singing it, like it was just insane. I was like, "This is amazing."
No, I love that song, and I want to hear "Toxic" in a movie again, and not in Madam Web. But
you heard "Toxic" in Madam Web?
Yeah, it plays during an action scene.
Oh, like from Britney Spears?
It's like the one part of that movie that's okay.
Oh.
And then it's over.
No.
But actually, before I get into Godzilla X Kong, if you had the opportunity, somebody came up to you and was like, you get to see Imagine Dragons in concert right now, and you have to take somebody with you.
I would take you, Daniel.
You would take me?
Dude,
why?
Yeah. It's for free. It's for free. You wouldn't go with me?
No, fuck no.
I feel sad. You're gonna have to go with me, man. I trick you. I'm like, yeah, Daniel, we're gonna go see Joji again in concert.
That'd be awesome.
And then we get there, and you're like, all right, I'm waiting. And then it's just Imagine Dragons coming out.
Imagine. I'd be pissed.
Erwin, you got us front row seats.
This would be like if you made me go see Pitbull or something.
Oh, man. I'm not really eager to see Pitbull.
You're not?
No.
He's bald.
I mean, he's always been bald, hasn't he?
I don't know.
I would love to see Lil Wayne.
We have seen. Were you there? No, you weren't there.
No.
I've seen Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Wait, why?
I don't know. Actually, right now, who would I want to see? I mean, I guess Wallows, because that's the one that
we are going to see
Wallows.
them.
Yeah. I've been listening to a bunch of Wallows again. Cause I'm
Megan the Stallion.
Megan the Stallion. Oh, I'd love to see Megan the Stallion. Just her. Would not want to be there for the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Not the crowd.
Because we've had to deal with that specific crowd for that specific artist before.
I think it's just like her type of music. I mean, which I understand, but
yeah,
it just generates that type of people.
That like the crowd shoving people.
Yeah, mosh pits every time.
It's awesome that was our first experience ever for
ACL. Yeah.
Yeah, like we got there and then we're just like, oh cool, we're in the front.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, we're in the front.
Quickly realized.
Terrible.
So getting into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Godzilla X Kong.
All right.
The New Empire. What'd you think of it?
I had fun. Yeah. I genuinely had fun. I did not expect it to be what you said earlier, where it felt like a sequel to Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not upset about it just because I love Kong and I just love monkeys in general.
They're so cool.
And I think they did a great job just like expressing King Kong in this film compared to the other ones. And I love I guess not much of I don't think of much of a society, but I guess it's a society of the other like apes.
Oh yeah.
And everything as well. But overall, like I genuinely had fun with this movie.
So for me, there's a lot to love about it, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing that underwhelms you every single time.
The characters,
but I could really feel them trying this time.
Yeah.
To make that interesting, because I actually liked the lore behind the Iwi people, and the girl again, still the strongest aspect, and I'm glad that they kept that relationship.
Oh, what's his name? The conspiracy theory guy.
Brian Terry Henry.
Yes.
I don't know if it's because I don't love him in Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah.
But I love that actor. Atlanta is like one of my favorite shows ever.
Yeah.
So every time he shows up in anything, I'm kind of immediately like,
yeah, you just love him.
I love him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him more in this one for sure.
Yeah, I like him because I feel like they gave us glimpses of what they wanted to showcase. Where it's like I want people to believe.
Yeah.
What I see and like what I say and everything, but they just make a joke out of it instead of just like following through with it. And then what's his name,
he's probably my favorite, Dan Stevens.
Dan Stevens, his character, amazing. Every time he was on screen I was like, this guy's funny. Like he's so charming in that movie, and I just enjoyed his presence.
It reminded me of, because this is Adam Wingard, he made The Guest. I don't know if you've seen it, but I love that movie, and Dan Stevens is great in that too.
Oh, okay.
He should kind of be a bigger actor than he is, but he's not like a huge name. And I like him every time he shows up in anything, but I at least can feel the attempt here this time. In the last one, on rewatch, what I get irritated by is Millie Bobby Brown and the kid from Deadpool.
I thought Millie Bobby Brown was gonna be.
I thought she was in this. Yeah,
I thought so too. Or like at least some characters from Godzilla would show up, but it was just Kong. And so that's why I was like, oh, this feels like a sequel to Kong. Yeah. More so than just both of them together.
I think they're kind of trying to figure out what fans want, and I don't like whenever movies try and adjust to appeal to fans necessarily. Yes. That's how you get Rise of Skywalker.
No!
And you said it just like Darth Vader does in one of the movies.
Awesome.
But I think that
Tell me why I've only seen that movie once, and it was just whenever it came out.
I've seen it twice, and the second time I thought I will never see this again.
Dude, and I have that movie.
Yeah, I owned it too. It's because I wanted to show it to my dad.
Yeah.
And Kylo Ren does nothing in the third act of that movie.
It just sucks. Like that's okay. I don't want to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have a full episode about all of those.
That's probably be like 3 episodes. Write that in there.
Yeah. I still think that there's a lot to love about this. I loved the Kong story in this time. I think what I respect a lot about this, and it made me miss Matt Reeves' Planet of the Apes movies so much, is there are long stretches of no dialogue and just physical movement. And I actually thought that was smart, and I can't believe that they trusted the audience with this specific storytelling. But I'm really glad that they did, because there are like multiple sequences of uninterrupted monsters, not even just fighting each other, but just genuinely interacting with each other. And Kong lends himself to a more humane storytelling motive, because Godzilla, while I love a lot, doesn't as much, because Kong is able to express a lot with facial features, and there's a kind of sense of humor about it too. There, like we were talking about earlier, there are so many moments that are so funny, and they're not even jokes. What they are is they're just things that happen, and you laugh. Like I could not stop laughing at whenever he takes the little monkey and then beats all the other ones.
Oh man!
But I really liked the world building from that angle too. I thought,
from like Hollow Earth and everything.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done, and I am glad that they didn't try and hold your hands with that, because it could have been very easy to be like the humans been with him and been like, Kong is saying this right now.
I wonder, I guess, with the next sequel.
Yeah.
Because, of course, there's always going to be different Titans and like what else they can showcase and all. But it's just more so because it seems like they're trying to have it where Godzilla and Kong can just both live in the same area, but it seems like Godzilla is the most powerful Titan.
I thought that Godzilla just kind of came off like an angry asshole in this movie. He shows up and gets upset.
He just goes around and is like, I gotta level up.
Yeah. And basically
Every
just
single
until
time.
he turns pink. And
Oh man.
What did you think of the villain of this? I guess there are two, technically. One.
Oh, the Scar?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was just like, evil monkey.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then one point, whenever he laughs at Kong with the two things he talked about, that was funny.
I actually thought he was a great villain, and I wish there was more of this character. Because immediately when he shows up, there's this sort of thing that they do where you can only see his eyes and they're pale. And I thought that was really cool. I think their decision to lean into the way they depict villains in this is they have this specific personality because they can't talk. And his kind of like this like way he walks and the way they animate it, you immediately kind of sense the type of character that this is. And I think that there's a lot of attention to detail when it comes to stuff like that, especially when it comes to like monkeys, I guess. But I loved that stuff. I was kind of concerned because I'd only seen one trailer for it, that they were going to look a little bit weightless, the characters.
Oh, like the human characters or like the monsters?
The monsters would be floaty, because that's kind of an issue I've had with like Pacific Rim Uprising in the past.
I've not seen it.
It's bad.
I did enjoy the trailer.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big trailer guy. I always forget that until I see like really good trailers. Did I tell you I saw The Crow?
The movie?
Yeah.
I know you were going to see The Crow.
Oh, I saw The Crow, right? The original one.
Right.
And so then I saw the trailer for it. I'm not really excited. It just looks completely, I don't know. It's just, I just hope it's not an action-packed movie, because that's not how I felt.
That's not what The Crow was, right?
No, because even then, like when it showcased in the original Crow, it like there were action scenes, but it was never. That's not what it was about, and it was just more of like what the intentions were from, like, his name was like Brandon Lee. Yeah, like his character. His character, and like just like his emotions and like what his character had to like deal with and all. And so I don't know, and I'm just saying that because like I did not enjoy that trailer.
I don't really have a whole lot of input on it yet, because I think I've seen The Crow, but it's been a very long time. and I have not seen that trailer on purpose, so
Oh,
I could
okay.
watch that movie again before I saw that.
Yeah, I think I've seen that trailer like 2 or 3 times because
Really?
it was in theaters.
Dude, I keep getting this trailer for like the first Omen every time
I have not
see
seen
that.
that trailer.
Really, I see
Yeah.
it so many times, and
I think it's funny how whenever we would go to the movies.
yeah,
And
fuck the Rampage trailer, by the way.
Yeah.
Speaking of monster movies, that you think I'm easy on that? That movie fucking sucks.
Oh man.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I did see that movie too.
Rampage?
like- yeah.
You saw Rampage?
Yeah, I did. Wasn't there like 3 or 4 different monsters?
There was the crocodile,
Crocodile,
and
the
the
wolf.
white ape, and the
Wasn't there another one?
maybe.
I don't know.
I didn't like that movie.
Yeah,
man.
it was okay.
I remember hearing that it had a cool third act, and I thought the third act sucked too. I didn't
Yeah.
like the action in that movie.
I just thought everything was all right.
yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be something where I'm like, oh, let me. It'd be fine to have like in the background or something.
Yeah, but there's just so many other monster movies you could be watching instead, like this
Yeah.
one too. Do you have like a favorite action scene in this? I feel like
It would honestly, my favorite scene was also in the trailer whenever Godzilla and Kong are running together.
Kong rides Godzilla.
When
And
Kong rides Godzilla.
I didn't know that the reason why he did that though was because he was riding like the dragon. I thought
Yeah.
that was fucking cool because then
Yeah.
they have the slow mo thing.
Oh,
where
yeah.
they're So I thought that was amazing.
Yes.
The zero gravity stuff, because an issue I had with Godzilla versus Kong is they set up a mechanism that is so clear to me that you do an action scene with it where they're like, "Hey, Hollow Earth, gravity's weird here."
Yeah.
And then they don't do anything with it.
Mhm.
So I spent that entire movie like, okay, when is that going to happen?
Yeah.
So when they introduced that concept in this, I was like, fucking finally.
It was cool.
And then that leads into them like going upwards, and then
Yeah.
they
Oh, hey, Mothra came back.
yeah. I really liked Mothra in this.
Yeah, Mothra in this one, I love the way they depicted Mothra
Yeah.
compared to the King of Monsters, because the King of Monsters, it was just very. Thinking the whole movie was very bleak and like dark.
Yeah.
Just like the way it was, like the way it looked and everything. Just because it probably just wanted to showcase more of like the color aspects anytime they would use their like powers.
Every time I see King of the Monsters or I think of that movie, I think
Yeah.
of the color blue, because I
Yes.
remember that movie being so blue.
Blue and yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of Ghidorah
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I love that movie, but it's
Mhm.
just like all of the action scenes in that are very rainy.
Yeah.
And this, they're in broad daylight.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. I don't mind it for
Mhm.
sure. I was concerned about the CG in this based off of one of the trailers though, because
Oh.
I'd only seen that one shot of them running.
Yeah.
I don't know if I didn't like how it looked or if it was just because I'd only seen it in GIF format.
Oh yeah.
Because-
I mean, it looks cheesy, regardless.
Yeah. No, but within context,
Yeah.
or if they polished it, whatever, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't mind the like leaning into the cheesy over the top nature of it. I
Yeah.
love stuff like that. This movie's clearly going for there's this one 2001 Godzilla movie, Final Wars. I don't know if you've seen it.
Mm.
It has these like random moments that are very over the top. Like even the humans, they're like riding motorcycles, and you can tell that the Matrix had just come out.
Yo, now makes me want to see it.
It's great.
Yeah.
It also has the it's basically imagine
What? Imagine Dragons?
no.
Oh yeah.
Imagine No Way
What?
Home. Imagine stop it.
Let's just use your imagination.
Think
real
of
quick.
No Way Home, but for Godzilla basically.
Okay.
Because even the bad one, the
Okay.
American bad one,
Okay.
not by Zemeckis.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
think I saw like
Because
a
he
clip of it
dies
too.
like immediately.
Yeah.
That movie's really funny and it's a lot of fun and
Yeah.
it's really good. They're clearly going for that.
Yeah.
They are going for this.
What if they do that again? Like in the American version where they just bring every Godzilla
Mhm.
like
Do you think that they? I don't know if they'd ever do something like that. Like
Yeah.
if they had the Shin Godzilla and Godzilla -1,
Mhm.
and then there are a lot of Godzillas to choose
there's a
from.
lot.
And then the Peter Jackson King Kong shows up, and then he's like, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah, it talks. What am I doing here?
And one of the Godzillas can talk.
I can't. That'd be amazing.
I-
But it'd be to the point where there's like already like 20 of them.
Yeah, I don't like the whole made for the fans, by the fans thing,
Mm-hmm.
but this clearly has an energy of I love this franchise. Like Adam Wingard clearly does. There's even like there's a little logo of Godzilla like eating a pizza that you see like for a brief moment when they destroy this building.
Uh-huh.
And that's clearly like it's imagery from someone that is a fan for sure. You can just sense that. And we were talking about, like, I know it sounds so hypocritical if you listen to us talking about Ghostbusters, because I was just like, I don't give a fuck about this. And it's clearly made by people that are fans of it.
Yeah.
The difference here is I love this franchise. And
that is true. I do want to see all the older Godzilla movies from like Toho.
Yeah.
Just so in that way I have a bigger appreciation of Godzilla, because I do love I love monster movies.
Yeah.
But of course some of them have like that same gimmick. I mean, even with Godzilla X Kong now, it's like anytime like the monsters show up, that's where I was excited and I was into it. But anytime the humans happen, you're just like, all right, here we go.
Something with Kong and this one specifically is it made me wonder if they introduced those long sequences of just Kong and I do not remember the little monkey's name. Apparently it's Suko.
I don't remember them saying the name at all.
Yeah.
Because there was no subtitles for the monkeys.
It made me wonder if they want to do a full movie like that. Because they really trust the audience to go ahead and let those sequences happen. And genuinely, if they did decide to do it, I would not mind. I think that that's a great idea because Kong already lends himself to that. Yeah. And Planet of the Apes...
I want Kong to have a family.
You think that he would? Oh yeah, cool. There are girl monkeys.
Girl monkeys? Well, I mean, they're full frontal.
They're full front. They're all naked.
Yeah.
Man. They getting freaky.
Remember when Godzilla was breathing?
Dude, I saw
or like that face. It's like.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I remember those things specifically.
I like that they do add some very expressive facial expressions.
I remember in Godzilla versus Kong where Kong just looks so worried, and then whenever he does the shoulder things, like,
oh yeah,
that was so cool.
There's a moment where Godzilla smiles in that movie that I love.
Or he gives a smirk.
Yeah.
Oh, with that axe and everything at the end, he goes like,
Oh,
he just like shakes his head up,
and he's like nodding at the little one, right?
I think so. Yeah. Either the little one or Godzilla.
Dude, there's a. So I saw this with my dad. Yeah. And my dad's like random critique of this movie is he was like, I don't get what the monkeys were building down there. They were just moving rocks from
one point to the other. Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, I don't know. Maybe they're just doing busy work. That's kind of.
Because the Scar King is an asshole.
It'd be funny if it's like actually setting up something, and then my dad was just like, I don't get this. In terms of flaws, what do you think? Because I don't think this movie's perfect. If I'm going to be entirely honest with you, it's only great on one specific level. But I loved it on that level. Yeah. Because, well, before I get into my flaws, I want to get into
I guess yours. My flaws are, it's still the same thing, just the humans. I had like little to no interest. I don't know. I did not feel... I felt like they both got this good amount of screen time, Kong and Godzilla. I did enjoy the... Oh, actually, I'm preaching all the good stuff I like. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Other than that, I didn't realize how short it was. It was less than 2 hours.
It's longer than Godzilla versus Kong, but it's also not even 2 hours, I don't think, because it's like an hour 55. It's the same thing for me. The pacing's a little wonky. I noticed some people saying that they think that the first hour's kind of like, it takes a little while to get going. Yeah. That's actually not how I felt about it, because all that time's with Kong. Yeah. So I loved all that stuff. It's any time they've cut to the human stuff, which I didn't even think was bad. Yeah. It just struggles under the weight of itself, because if you're going to put that much effort into the monster stuff, cutting away from it is kind of hard to deal with. Yeah. Because that stuff is so good, and I understand making Kong the focal point of these two movies. I also felt like he was the protagonist of the last one too, because he is kind of the underdog in a sense, because Godzilla is just the strongest one, and I adore that character. And I know sometimes people try and say that they love one more than the other. I'm like gonna say I'm a Godzilla person, but that's not without saying that I love Kong like a lot, and I love the history behind him too.
Oh, my favorite part too, whenever Godzilla was just running after Kong in Egypt. And then Kong is like, wait.
Dude, there's one, it's a very brief like visual detail.
Yeah.
But I love it. Because you know how they like kept showing the cities and stuff?
Yes.
Godzilla sees him from like a cities away and they show it.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he sees him because like the way he jumps off and then charges. I thought that was a really great visual choice too. Mm-hmm. But this movie is clearly going for one specific thing, and it works perfectly on that level. It is to show absolutely ridiculous action with the monsters, and I think it delivers on that wholeheartedly. But I also think that it completely nails this emotional aspect with Kong. I think that genuinely, in terms of emotions, the best part of the movie, and I hope that that's set up for more, because I would like to see where that story is headed and where it's going, and I think that this movie is projected to make $1 billion anyway.
This one?
Yeah.
I would have never expected that, to be honest.
I think it's because of the popularity of -1.
Oh.
And that the one before this did so well that they're just going to keep on making them.
Yeah.
If you like had any, before I ask you this, my flaws with it are the same.
Yeah.
The humans, while I could feel the sense of trying to make them more interesting, it's just not quite there. And
I don't know. I would say if the next one comes out, I would want them to do different characters.
Yeah. But
at the same time, like I wouldn't be upset if they took a step back just to focus on the characters and give them time, because the monster characters are already developed.
Yeah.
And we know what to expect from Godzilla. We know what to expect from Kong. And of course they can introduce new tie-ins and like new monsters and everything. But I think the only thing that they're missing is just the human characters and just having some depth. Or us to care about them.
For a long time, we all thought it wasn't possible, but it's been proven just recently to be possible. I will forever hold out hope on that, because I love the direction this franchise is going, but I also simultaneously wish that some of the movies would go back to the 2014 route.
Yes.
And have... I'm not like somebody that needs everything to be dark, but I do miss the sort of elements of the horror, like creature feature, like 70s style mixture of both. Because while I do love the thing that they're doing right now, I think that there could be a better balance of both of those things.
Kong riding Godzilla.
He does do that. He never fist bumps him though.
If only one day.
Yeah.
I mean, Godzilla's arms look like they can reach.
Oh yeah, because
it just looks. It's just, you see whenever Godzilla's running, like his arms are like.
I don't even think he's supposed to be doing that. I think he's supposed to run like a dinosaur, where like his arms aren't supposed to move. Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, I know that he's modeled after a cat. I think.
Godzilla?
Yeah.
Oh.
They said that even -1, he's like based off of how cats act, which makes sense because he acts like an asshole in that movie.
Dang. What are your thoughts on cats?
They're okay, but I lived with an orange cat that was a fuckhead. And
Damn.
I didn't like him. That cat specifically I have beef with.
Okay.
Other ones are fine.
Yeah.
It's just that one. So overall thoughts on this movie, and what's your score out of 5?
I give it a 4.
Yeah.
I genuinely give it a 4 just because I would watch it again.
Yeah.
Like I would watch it right now if I could, just because I love all the sequences with the monsters, and I just love the interactions with Kong and Godzilla.
I second this. I also gave this a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
I believe it is like, you know how sometimes people say that, oh well, this movie you gave this score but you gave this one a different thing. Well, that's based off of what a movie's trying to achieve, and what this movie is trying to achieve is being a fun monster movie with great action, and it succeeds on that on all levels. I just wish the human stuff again was more entertaining, and I don't know if I'm always gonna have this flaw.
I hope not.
But like, at least they're consistent. These movies are consistent.
At least the action sequences and just the monsters that they showcase are fun
Yeah.
and you actually enjoy. So
I think that this might have the most creative action sequences.
I do love that gravity
Yeah.
stuff. Like when you mentioned that again, I was like, yeah, I do love that.
And his like bone whip thing is such a cool design. And I love dragons, and that ice dragon thing was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Shimo?
I don't know.
I think.
It's a female.
I remember that name.
Godzilla and her can
I thought
mate,
Godzilla
right?
was supposed to be in love with Mothra.
Oh, I don't know, dude.
Who's more of a baddie?
Who's like Mothra. I don't go fuck.
Do you want to talk about Roadhouse?
Huh? Sure. I mean, I personally found it fun.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed it too. It was very goofy. Roadhouse. I did not expect like the one-liners from it. I was like, what? What?
So you know how in the hit TV show Family Guy, they
Yeah, whenever I'm watching like a clip on the top and then
Subway Surfers on the bottom.
Yeah.
No, the joke about Roadhouse that they make in that.
No, what is it?
Oh, it's not that funny if I have to explain it. Basically, all that happens is that Peter gets obsessed with the movie Roadhouse.
Okay.
And anytime he beats anybody up, he goes Roadhouse.
That's it.
That's it. That's the joke. But it's like it's very popular.
Okay.
And I think the joke about that is supposed to be. Have you seen the original?
No.
I have. It is sleazy and goofy.
I love Patrick Swayze. I gotta clarify. Anytime I would see a movie that was from like the 80s or 90s,
yeah,
and he's in it, I don't know what it is. I think I'd give it another star,
really?
Just because I just love Patrick Swayze as an actor.
You would like this. It's the pinnacle of like 80s sort of cheese ball. What do they call it? Just this. You know how people say that there were movies made in the 80s made by people who were clearly on cocaine.
Yeah.
This is like the peak of that.
Nice.
And this one is very much like that.
Yeah.
But knows that it is.
Yes.
And I think Jake Gyllenhaal accidentally creates more weight to it when he shouldn't.
Yeah.
Have,
there are definitely scenes that he had.
Because he's giving like the caliber of performance he gives in everything.
Yes.
And I was just telling you before this that I love Ambulance, the Michael Bay movie. He's playing that like psychotic, and he always adds this sort of tinge of someone who's not right in the head.
Yeah.
And he does that here. There's actually one random moment said by Conor McGregor of all people.
Yeah. Where
he goes, "There's something wrong with you," and then
it's just that the look that he has. I don't know why he just plays it so well.
Yeah.
But Conor McGregor, I mean, he was fun.
Yeah, we were talking about how I don't know that man's persona. Yeah, I don't know what his personality is supposed to be. I've heard he's like a cocky asshole. Yeah,
I've seen that, or it's like memes or like videos of him. But it just seems like he's just there to have fun too.
So I don't know if he's playing into that. I couldn't even tell you if he's a good actor or not. Like I've seen him in this movie. Yes. I just know that whatever he's doing, it worked.
Post Malone was in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For like
in the beginning.
The beginning, yeah. But they called him Austin Malone.
No, they call him like Connor or something.
No, in like the movie? The actual actor, like Post Malone's real name.
Oh, what is it?
I think Austin Malone.
Why is he called Post?
It's not his real name. His first name's not Post.
No, but why does he call it like his stage name Post then?
I would have to look that up because I don't actually know. Post Malone.
I'm gonna name him Post.
I hope not. Doja.
We call Doja.
Lil.
We called Little.
Like Little Bill.
No, Wayne.
No.
Or Pete. You'll be called Duh. Duh baby.
I like the action in this a lot.
Oh yeah. It had a different style when it comes to fighting. Cause I'm pretty sure you used to also see in a lot of movies that have are just based off of like fighters and everything.
Yeah. And
it was just so smooth, and it never felt. It had like without one stop motion. Wasn't there another movie that came out a while ago?
So
that was like one shot.
Oh, I mean stuff like that. Yeah. That's something. That's a Matthew Vaughn technique.
Oh, okay.
Argyle, maybe.
No, dude, Argyle's so I don't
Bad.
know why.
Argyle's awful.
Man,
We'll have to talk about that one day.
no, I'm okay.
Remember, man, I hadn't like had that sensation of really looking forward to a movie and then being in denial about it, and then halfway through being like, "This fucking sucks."
Yeah, it just sucks. It's Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. It's not, but I expected more.
I expected something.
Yes.
Was not that.
I think the amount of twists that was in that movie.
There's too many. I've never like had an experience where I was just like, there are too many of these. And
yeah, or it's just like back to back to back.
Yeah,
and you're like, what's
I
happening?
think it just got to a point where you're like, all right, I think this movie doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah.
No, what I think the reason it feels different is Doug Liman. And I forgot that Doug Liman is also behind some of the Bourne stuff.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Which is why I was like, is that why there's kind of elements of this where it's smooth, but it also kind of has this sort of digital clatter and sort of shakiness to it, but in a complimentary way, not in like a I'm annoyed by shaky cam way. I thought it was just an interesting clash in both of those, but on purpose.
Yes.
Like, he clearly shot with this digital photography that reminded me of Michael Mann. I don't know if you ever saw Miami Vice.
No.
Or Collateral.
Yes.
But some of the moments do have this kind of, like, digital grain to it that I think he uses on purpose. Like, there are some really elegant shots in this movie that come out of nowhere. Like, there's a moment where they're in the middle of a beach.
Oh.
And it just looks insane. And there's just moments that I thought were really beautiful.
Yes.
And in terms of keep in mind, I don't think I loved this movie. I think I really liked it, and there were elements of it that I loved.
Yeah.
The action and Jake Gyllenhaal's performance in particular were the best parts of it. And
my issue was the daughter and the father who owned the bookstore.
Oh yeah.
I felt like that dragged it down a little bit, just for me at least, just because it felt like an unnecessary plot line. But I think it's just more so on the fact of trying to get him riled up.
Yeah.
Like,
I get the reasoning for it. It's supposed to be able to dig into his psyche a little bit.
Yeah.
But then they don't even fully go into that.
Because I think they try to be a little bit more reserved on it. And like the moment he just said it out loud where I try to hold it in, I try not to be angry, but the moment I get angry, I he loses it, right?
Yeah.
And they definitely play with that, but I think it never gave us time to actually sit with it and understand his past from it.
Yeah.
Like, you know the reason why he gets angry, or not even that though. It's like the reason why he doesn't get angry and doesn't want to fight anymore. You know that, but we don't know why he gets so angry.
I couldn't figure out if they were trying to set up more.
Yes.
With that, I know that the director and producers behind this were annoyed that this didn't get a theatrical release, and to be honest with you, I am too.
Yeah.
I thought it lends itself to that anyway, and it should not have been just a Prime Video release. I don't think it should have been, because that feels like the type of movie that plays in like
I think majority of movies should be theater releases.
No, I mean, I do too, unless it's something that Netflix kind of made just to make.
Oh yeah.
But I liked it. There's not like a whole lot to say about it, to be honest with you.
I would watch it again though. I'm not.
It has a rewatchability factor for sure.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, have you seen Roadhouse? It's kind of like it's just easy to turn on, and people will be like, yeah, I liked it. And the third act has a really great fight at the end. I love I don't think we spoiled anything, so I don't know if
For Roadhouse?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What's there to spoil?
I don't know. I guess just the way that like he beats Conor McGregor.
Oh yeah.
I really really liked, because it like gets insanely violent. I forgot it was rated R.
I did not realize that, but it makes sense based off the scenes that happen.
Yeah.
I do like Jake Gyllenhaal. I just like the character, like he just portrayed him.
He's one of my favorite actors ever, though. Like, I mean, Nightcrawler and Prisoners and everything he does.
Whenever I was looking through my letterbox, I was like, I didn't give Nightcrawler a score. 5.
Oh yeah.
What was the other one? Zodiac. I was like,
dude,
what?
Oh my god.
Dude, I love Zodiac.
Zodiac is a movie that that's like,
I've seen that movie like 3 times.
And I like every time it has this like effect on you that makes you obsessed with that movie the same way that the characters get obsessed with.
Yes.
It's wonderful. David Fincher is just forever.
Yes.
What would you give Roadhouse?
Also a 4.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Because I really liked it, but I like 4 to me is great, and I didn't think it was a great movie.
I think I gave it a 4 just because I am a sucker when a movie is cheesy and it has like one-liners like that.
There are a lot of good ones. I love one-liners. We're big proponents of the Fast and Furious franchise here, so
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I also love movies that have fighting.
Yeah, just generally like, speaking. Yeah.
So I just after that, it's just like one after another. I'm like, damn, I love this movie. I can't.
It's just hard to. Yeah. No, I mean I understand.
Like I see the flaws, but at the same time, I'm like I don't care.
Sometimes there's like we talked about movies that you give 5 stars that like you know are flawed. Like for example, one of my favorite movies that is flawed for sure is Cloud Atlas.
I still haven't seen that.
But that movie's incredible. Like I know what the flaws are.
Wasn't
but
it mixed?
What?
Like didn't that movie get mixed reviews?
I think it's it's like low 60s on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, okay.
But I love that movie a lot. Anyway, it is a big month for movies where your dad or parent are going to point at the screen and see a monkey and say, "Look, it's you," because
I guess we're on monkey business. Is that what you're gonna say?
No.
Oh.
I was going to say something along the lines of that though.
Oh.
Anyway.
Okay.
We're about to conduct a whole lot of monkey business this month.
Oh, okay.
See, there you go. Are you excited
that kind of
sucked. All right, you said it before I did.
Yeah, but like I just. Nah, can we start?
Why? Because you.
Let's just forget. All right. So.
Imagine.
What? So you wouldn't go with me?
No,
though it's
fuck
free?
no,
bro. Who am I gonna go with, even though it's not happening?
Would you go to a free Nickelback concert even though it was free?
Are you taking me?
No.
Then no. Why would I go?
Like if somebody was like, dude.
No. Somebody. If it ain't you, it ain't anyone.
No, I'm like somebody on the street is like, dude, I cannot get rid of these fucking Imagine Dragon tickets because that's what would happen.
Keep in mind, guys, I just grabbed the tickets from Daniel's hand.
And he had 2 of them.
Okay, you're.
I'm going.
Yeah, dude.
What's my incentive?
My best friend.
I'm
not enough.
You'd owe me a huge favor.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I'm just like dancing. You're just standing there.
Can you dance to Imagine Dragons?
I don't know.
Do they make music like that?
Dude. I can just imagine where Thunder's just playing. You're just looking over me.
Bro, what kind of crowd is it?
I don't know.
I don't want to go.
Bro, I'm sorry. You have to. Even though it's
in this hypothetical situation where somebody's like, I cannot get rid of these.
Or it's just the actual band coming up to us.
Oh, God.
What would you do? What would you say?
I wouldn't know. What do they look like?
I know that what's
Do you know what
No.
they look like?
I don't. I really don't. I just like their music.
But what's up next? Are you excited for Monkey Man?
I am, yes.
I am like, we're going to have a lot to talk about that because it has a very interesting production history.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't know anything about it.
No, I've been reading up on it so we could talk about it.
Okay.
But I am so excited for that. That's our next review. And then after that, I believe is Civil War.
Dude, I'm excited about that.
I have seen that trailer a million times, and it's one of those trailers I don't get annoyed by because it looks great, I think.
And I remember telling you with the Civil War trailer, I was like, I just hope that it turns out to be more than what it looks like.
Yeah.
Just because it feels one of those ones where it's like an easy gimmick.
Yeah.
As in, like, how to pull an audience in, but it doesn't you don't leave with anything. But it looks like it may do that.
I fully trust in
Alex Garland.
Alex Garland, even though I have not seen Men, which is why I fully trust in him. Cause
I thought he also did Ex Machina, right?
Yeah, which I love. And Annihilation, which I love.
Oh, yeah. I love this. I want to see Annihilation again.
But Men, people did not like. And
yeah, I thought it was alright.
I have not seen.
Yeah.
So, I am so excited for that. And we'll have Monkey Man coming up next. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, everybody. We have had an influx of so many new viewers and listeners. And genuinely, if you could, please leave a star rating or review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you may find it. It has been incredibly helpful, and we've had so many new listeners. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, we are at Somewhere Between Film. Thank you again so much for listening. We'll see you next time.